welcome to the Homes and Homies podcast in the My Insurance Group studios. I am James with My Insurance Group.
I'm Mike with Thrive Mortgage.
John Hanson, My Insurance Group.
I'm Ernest Enriquez, EXP.
And our special,
Guest.
lovely, the beautiful, the intelligent,
The one, the only.
Ryan Seth McDaniel.
All the hype up.
With, who are you with?
I'm with Keller Williams Heritage.
you got it.
And what's the name of your group?
Oh, it's Mick Realty right now, but it's
There we go.
it's on the mend and the change. So
Do you want to supersize that?
Yeah, so if y'all have some names to recommend, I mean, hey, I'm all ears.
I was thinking
The Big Mac Group.
Big Mac Realty.
Big Mac Realty.
Big Mac Daddy.
So I'm taking John out of my group naming group because
Big Mac Realty just sounds great.
it does.
And delicious at the same time.
And dude,
Talk about lawsuits. Any name that John's giving me is just
How could that be a lawsuit?
suitable. Dude, they come
McDaniel is your last
McDonald's
name.
would come after me.
Well,
Big Mac.
don't spell it like
it's got golden arcs instead of golden arches.
no. Just do the just take the Whataburger, take the Whataburger and flip it upside down into an M.
And we just have a big
and
jumbo.
Then, and then
like,
you're just Big Mac
force
with the
some lawsuit.
Whataburger.
Great idea.
Cease and desist is flying already.
Well, no, you don't even have to do the golden arches. Big Mac Realty though, that's got a ring to it.
Is Big Mac trademark though? That's the question.
I think it is. It's got a little
I'm
R.
sure.
But
It's
how long's it good for? Doesn't it expire?
They do.
It's got to be free
You
by
know,
now.
people make a business off that, don't you?
No.
They like, for example, they'll go and wait for businesses' trademarks to expire, and they'll go buy them for like pennies on the dollar. And
they
then
sell
when the
them
company,
back.
they'll sell them back to the company. A little shady, but
it is shady.
But Big Mac Realty isn't a Big Mac. It's Big Mac Realty.
right.
Yeah.
So I researched that about the whole Mick. Anything Mick, McDonald's goes after him. Like Mick Sleep. It was Quality Inn, whatever. They got sued and they won because it was Quality Inn Sleep tried to use Mick Sleep, and McDonald's went after him and said, "You've got no reason to use our Mick in your name," and they won.
But you have a reason, so I don't think they could win. Like my
I know
last
that's
name
tough.
is McDaniel.
So there, you could actually justify it, but I mean, I don't want to be tied up. But so
Dude,
apparently,
that would be some great
apparently
publicity.
the only
Local San Antonio local realtor
Sued by
being
Big
sued by
Ugly Corporation McDonald's.
It's like
Yeah.
just
I can't show you houses Monday because I'm in court, but
I'd be like Ryan, sell my house
tomorrow.
I'm in court every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
But
I can show you home.
Wednesday is a great day.
I meant the McCourthouse.
It doesn't matter. I mean, all the code of ethics go out the window here in San Antonio. Apparently, we got some
We're good.
we got some Wild West stuff down here. I mean, both you and I were both up in Washington, and it was like very formal. And then you come down
Yeah.
here, and it's like gun ho. Everybody's like,
It's open
Well,
carry.
now we'll have our
It's open carry.
buyer's rep in our back pocket again and be like, "Are you going to sign this before I can open the door?"
you weren't doing that in Washington.
Well, I left right when all that started.
That's true.
So now it's back, and now I'm like, "Oh man, how do I weasel out of this one again?"
You don't. You don't.
I might have to move states.
It's the National
Yeah.
That is
Association
national.
that kind of threw you
you'll
under
be,
the bus.
You'll be good. I think what's going to happen is a lot
Puerto Rico?
of agents are going to transition to listings, or try to, and the agents that historically have been buyers agents, I think they're going to struggle a little bit. Someone will find a way, find a program.
I got to throw a flag
Make it
on this.
work.
We're not going to talk about that.
Oh yeah.
That's right. We're not talking
You-
about
I like that idea
Hey,
too.
can you move that
you-
greasy
you
ass
hear it.
bag for me? So I
Oh,
can
dude.
I don't want my shot to get messed up by that greasy, dirty old bag.
That's
It's pretty
weird.
good, though.
We were at the office today, and somebody started watching that in the office. We're all just hanging out this morning, like at 9.
And everybody's
this
like-
guy turns on the webcast. I'm like, "What are you watching? Like, what's on right now?" He goes, "Oh, it's all the whole NAR discussion, and Mr. Keller's talking about it." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm out. I'm
Yeah.
going." He's like, "You don't want to watch this?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Well, NPR threw some flames
Well.
threw some gas in the fire this morning too. But we'll save that for when everything's settled.
We'll
'cause-
see what happens. See
yeah.
what shakes out.
Beautiful.
But that being said,
I saw your Americans won soccer last night.
yes, dude. We don't talk soccer on the podcast.
You
though.
don't talk soccer
We
either.
avoid it like
ties aren't celebrated here.
There's
This
only
is-
15 minutes of valuable
this
time.
is an American. This is an American
minutes.
show.
11 minutes, dude.
So I picked
11
some- I
minutes.
picked some valuable information
Here,
from y'all's
football is
podcast.
oblong. And it's made out of pigskin.
Yeah.
And you can't tackle.
But you throw it.
You can slide
Our
tackle.
football you throw. Your football you kick.
That's right. Slide tackle.
Which one makes more sense?
What
There?
about, what about
No more
rugby?
hit
You
tackle.
ever watch rugby?
Now, rugby, that's a real sport.
Yeah.
That's a man's sport.
That's the Conor McGregor sport.
Intense.
You seen his new movie?
No.
Roadhouse.
Haven't seen it.
Oh, he's
No.
in Roadhouse?
They just came out with a new version.
I just can't see anybody.
You can't one up Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, I mean Patrick
no
Swayze, like pain don't hurt.
Hey, but we watched the new one. My wife and I watched the new one. Then we went and watched the old one, like the '80s version.
You haven't
And we're
seen
like,
the '80s version?
No, I had seen
That
it,
was
but I
literally
forgot
something
how
I
dirty
watched.
it was.
That was literally something I
It's
watched every
super
weekend
dirty.
for months. That was just like the
I
best
mean,
movie ever of all time.
Like nowadays, they would probably classify that like as some soft core stuff.
Not
remember
rated
that.
or something.
yeah,
Huh?
I'm
Not rated.
Not
or what?
rated.
I remember a lot of
18,
fighting.
17 and up.
I don't. I
I
think
do
you
too.
might have watched it.
I remember a lot of nudity.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, no, you rewatched that.
No, go ahead and go watch it.
So what was the decision? Which one did you like more?
I like the original one better.
That's like Game of Thrones is like a softcore porn.
Game of Thrones is porn. It's not soft. I was
I was watching an episode of my sister's, and she's like, "Bro, at least go upstairs if you're gonna watch that in my house." I was
Game
like, "I
of
swear
Thrones?
it's Game of Thrones." She's like, "Bro, that's just a porno." I
Yeah.
was like, "It'll get better. Just
So,
watch."
so now we got
and like
the
10
new,
minutes later,
we got
it pops
the
up
new
again.
name
She's
for
like,
Ryan. It's
still
called McD.
McD.
Big McD Realty.
That sounds awful.
It has. It
We don't
rhymes,
really
though.
we don't sell houses, but we do have some big
It
McD.
rhymes, though.
Big D disclosures. What are you talking about? disclose. No, but we watched the Roadhouse, the original Roadhouse, and we were like, dude, I don't ever remember like this much like nudity.
I don't either. So
Like
I'm
literally,
actually
there is a
surprised you're even talking
scene
about it.
where he walks into like the bar room or whatever, like where they store all the beer, the storage, whatever you want to call it, the cellar, and there's like two people just getting it on. And
That was a great scene. I remember that scene.
he's
I'm a little
like,
concerned James as a teenager remembers that
my
scene.
wife goes, "Aren't you supposed to be like 18?" I go, "I think you're right."
It was a great scene.
Yeah.
It's weird, but Mike, NFL, talk a little NFL, Mike.
Well, they just passed a new rule today. There's no more hip drop tackles. So I looked even up what that was.
What is a hip drop tackle?
I had to look at. I guess it's,
Google
where it's the cousin of the horse collar. I guess where you grab them from the back and you swing around and tackle them by checking your hip. Is the high incident of
It's like a
ankle
hit drop,
injuries.
right?
Yeah.
It's just like,
I might start watching soccer with
Oh, they're going to
Ernest
go to flag
here.
football pretty
let's
soon.
go.
Yeah, well, I was about to say, like, I mean, 20 years from now, they're going to be like, well, now, when you pull the flag, if you dive, that's a penalty.
That's bad. You,
You cannot make
Too
you
much
cannot touch
force
his
was
body.
used on that flag tugging penalty.
Excessive force, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Excessive flag pull.
They might as well shorten the field, make it like 30 yards, because it's man, it's getting terrible. Why do you think I don't watch football anymore?
Well, I saw a lot of players are upset about it.
Yeah,
Normally it's the other way
Oh, yeah,
around.
I think
for sure.
they're trying to make it a gender equal sport, so they're trying to make it to where girls can get it now. So they're just making it very soft.
Yeah, so I watched a highlight reel
Jerry Jones is good.
of like football from the 90s.
Oh man, yeah.
Every single hit was illegal now. I was just like, dude, that was like,
Those
Dude, that
guys
was
were just like
hardcore.
launched themselves like missiles.
Yeah.
What was the guy from this weekend? Was Mitch? No. Who's the old guy?
Oh, Marvin?
Marvin.
He's like, I played football at Notre Dame, and we didn't have any plastic on our uniform. We played with leather helmets. So it was a super old guy. I was like, dude, that's
how it was
intense.
back in the day.
Yeah.
though.
Well, no,
It was-
way back in the day. So football, actually, just a little history lesson. I think it was Teddy Roosevelt that like got football popular, and there was deaths that happened at football games, and so. I think like some rules definitely need to be put in place.
Well, I believe that
So
deaths
instead of the
happen.
cart, they had the hearse. Oh, the hearse
What was-
that can't be good.
What was the? You remember playing Blitz like growing up as a kid? The
That was
football
like the
game
game you could never
game.
score a touchdown on.
You can never they like body slamming you, like pile driving
like
you.
you dive from 25 yards and tackle somebody. You're like,
Legit missile. Like you'd come in like a
Yeah.
missile. It was amazing.
That's kind of gotten so soft. I was talking to a guy this weekend about who's in the Army. He said nowadays you can get a tap out card in basic training.
A
Card?
I'm tired. You're being too mean to me, and they're allowed to
Oh wow.
just sit out.
They have their phones with them nowadays too. Apparently,
This is the military. People are shooting at you. You can't do that in the real world.
Like, wait, hold on. Stop shooting at him. He gave us the card.
It's the middle of a war. You're gonna have a blue card. You just hold up in the
You're supposed to be
air.
trained for combat. There's no tapping out. What is this?
So when you were in the military, when you went to camp, you didn't go through any of that.
They couldn't beat us. And other than that, that was the only rule.
Once you tap out, you go home and you're out. Basically, is
There was no tapping out. You committed to being in the military for X amount of years. There's no tapping out.
It's like you signed the contract.
you're stuck here.
Yeah, Army was Uncle Sam ain't released me yet. You're not getting out.
What's the only tap out was like Navy SEAls, where it's a privilege if you can make
Oh,
it.
so
kind of
then
thing.
you ring the bell. You gave up because they kicked your ass because it's like a 20% pass rate.
Yeah, lone survivor type stuff.
Yeah, I mean that is a real man business. But tapping out in basic training, what is that? I'm gonna throw I'm gonna throw my purse at the enemy.
I can't talk too much shit because I don't know if I didn't go that route at all, and I'm pretty sure.
Well, back from going from high school, if we went high school to military, we probably could have easily done boot camp. Like the stuff we did in high school sports.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
was
absolutely,
easier
yeah.
than boot camp.
Yeah.
I mean, the drill sergeants had a very
Harder than boot
creative
camp, excuse me.
mind
Yeah.
for their language. It was amazing.
Yeah.
They were like wordsmiths of cuss words.
You said hit it with your purse.
The military, the modern day army. I think they throw purses at their enemy.
we have a saying in soccer that says "hit it with your purse."
Just so dang wimpy. I don't get it.
I could definitely see all you soccer players.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. There.
That's not what the football guys at Mac said behind the gym last time. I'm just joking.
I don't know
So
I don't know where to take that.
Not like that. Not like
I don't know why Ernest was back behind the gym with high school ball coaches.
But anyways,
I got stuck over there, dude. I grew up with you guys. Y'all know they freaking stuffed me behind the lockers and all, freshman bowling.
How
all-
do you get out of a locker if somebody stuffs you in it?
You don't.
I was never small enough to fit behind. I never had that issue. Or to stuff me like, dang, he's not going in that thing.
Did you ever have that first experience when you went to your new high school? Like you saw that first pretty girl and you were like, I've never seen a girl as pretty as that.
You can get a lot of us in trouble.
That was me. I went to a
he went to an all-girls school.
I'm like, well,
Who's married at the table?
So, honey, I love you.
yeah.
Oh, wait, no, I got a button for that. But I did go to an inner city middle school, and then I went and I never seen. Anyways, next topic.
San Antonio, most affordable metro housing market in Texas. Mike just tossed this one on me when we walked in here.
I did not realize that, Mike.
So think about this. So you've got
I would have said Lubbock.
major metro, not armpit. So you got Dallas, you got Fort Worth, you got Austin. Those guys are way more expensive than San Antonio. So, I mean, you got tons of people flocking to Texas. If you look at all the census numbers, people are coming to Texas in busloads. And for bang for your buck, San Antonio is by far, you're getting more house. So our values are not really going down because there's just so many people coming in. There's not many sellers. So I'm saying that if you want to buy a house in Texas and you want a big city, San Antonio's the place.
You can call Mike at Thrive Mortgage for your for all your
Number
home
scrolling
loan needs.
across.
I mean, if you want to go out to like West Texas, the like, land of sadness,
Call the number down below. Click this link. Yeah, nobody wants to go to West Texas. People that live in West Texas don't want to go to West Texas.
Did you hear our next link up for MLS is going to be ABOR? That's their next big push.
Really?
So ABOR.
I predict there's going to be a national MLS within the
There's
next
already one.
3 years.
There's already one. It's called My.
It's called Zillow.
NWO.
Let's not get Mike started on the Z word.
The C word.
Zillow.
Well, this estimate says my house is worth $500,000.
Like that's pretty good. It's only off by $250K. We're getting close.
You tell me this estimate's wrong?
I think they Sabor sent out like the statistics a couple days ago, and it was like I think our average sell price here in San Antonio is like $340.
Yeah, it's right about that.
It's somewhere. It's pretty high.
Well, and it's actually the average price is actually going down a little bit, but it's because the people who are buying now are the first-time home buyers.
Right.
So if you look at the amount of sales, so your first two levels of entry level things are way more people buying than the 350 and above. Or actually 400 and above is the next. So if you just do the averages, it's going to bring your purchase price down. But really prices are not falling, but the average is falling because there's more first-time home buyers buying.
Do you know that over 30% of the buyers last year in Texas were institutional buyers?
That was last year. I think that's kind of slowed down.
It is slowed down. That's a
Black
crazy
Rock.
stat.
Like,
BlackRock. Coming to a
Don't say that name
coming
on
to
this
a neighborhood soon.
podcast. I want you to live.
No one, guys. I am
Please,
not.
please edit that.
Like, I did not kill myself.
don't
No.
mention Clinton.
Not going to the NAR lawsuit. We'll stay away from that. But what do you think's going to happen with the repercussions of what could come in the future? That's going to push out a lot of those first-time home buyers.
Well, they don't have money. So if you don't have money to begin with, it's already a hard purchase. And now if you got to come up with more money to get representation, which you really need as a first-time home buyer because you don't know what the heck you're doing. So it's going to make the hurdle entry higher. So I think it's going to hurt the initial. So the people they're protecting are going to get hurt the most.
I think it's going to pull home prices down a little bit because things are going to sit longer.
Okay, well, I'm a seller.
Well, we talked about that too. Like as a buyer's rep, I'm going to get creative and I'm going to say, okay, you're not going to pay me. We're going to make this purchase price 3% lower. And I'm going to say, Mr. Buyer, you're going to pay me 3%, but I got you 3% off the purchase price.
But that's if they have the cash.
Right.
Well, we'll try and finance it some other way.
I think it's going like this. I'm the buyer's agent. Hey, listing agent, can we get 3%? Well, I like to schedule a listing.
That's part of the rule too. Where
I like to schedule a
you
listing.
can't market anywhere on MLS anymore.
No, you just pick up the phone.
To
You send a
pay.
text.
And you say that's going to be a pain in the ass. As a listing agent, I'm going to get so many calls. Hey, how much are you paying? I'm like, bro, just show the house. Like, I don't want to field every call from every agent saying, how much buyer's commission are you paying? It's going to happen though.
What you should do is just get a.
Let's put on your sign.
I'm like, if you give us the full purchase price, I'll give you 3%.
Make yourself a listing phone number and put a voicemail in there. Hi, this is Ryan McDaniels. We're paying 3%. Show the house.
And what I was
And
thinking,
how many phone calls would you not have to worry about?
3.5% of this kitchen was updated.
We did do a little meme like that. That was like 3.5%. It's like buyer agent, and just kind of like highlighting
It
it
pieced
throughout
it together somewhere.
Yeah.
There. That's hilarious. I don't know, man. I don't want to go on the NAR lawsuit stuff, but I think the implications of what's going to happen is it's going to make, I feel like, the market stale for a little
It
while.
might.
While people figure out and agents figure out like what they can legally do to get paid.
What's the point of NAR?
I think
That's my thing.
You know,
too.
I mean, like, what's the point of NAR? Like,
Exactly.
That's mine. I'm like, get me out of
They-
this.
they-
right over.
they
Big
failed
time.
you. They
Give me
failed
my
you all.
money back. Yeah.
My Insurance Home Group's hiring, by the way.
We are.
We'll plug that on the podcast.
All right, last point about NAR. So the mortgage world got beat up in 2008, and they revamped everything. They changed how everything is done. And for the first year, everybody's like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? So the people who caused the problem got pushed out. All those brokers that charged 8 points, 9 points, 10 points. And the good people who did their job, we actually got a raise.
Yeah.
So I think it very well will be that people who actually are professionals and do their job and represent their buyers, they might come up on top. And the people who are like part-time realtors or sleazy get pushed out.
Well, and now who's to say that, agents who can build that value proposition in their services
There you go.
don't, instead of just charging 3%, start charging 4, 5, 6% on the list side. Nobody's stopping you.
It's open for negotiation.
It's negotiation.
And if I can get you more bang for your buck or more money for your house,
Well, I think too. I think it is going to stay for the wealthier clients. I think it will still stay the same. I'm going to pitch the same thing. Hey, we're charging 6%. You're going to pay this buyer's agent for their work 3%. We're making this as smooth as possible versus saying we're just going to roll the dice and hope
See
they
what
figure out
happens.
a way that
See-
they sign some kind of buyer's agreement.
The sucky thing about it, though, too, is like 37% of, I think it's 37 or 27, I forget the actual statistic, but 27 to 37% of home buyers last year were first-time home buyers. So it's like over a quarter of your market that is
Yeah.
a first-time home buyer, who I would say probably about 80 to 75 to 80% of those use some sort of bond program, which just means they didn't have the cash reserves in the bank to actually get into a home.
they don't have the money.
What do you think about lenders paying the fraction that is needed for that 3%, saying wrap this into the mortgage.
So unless
I know
they
FHA,
change
VA probably
the,
not.
unless they change the guidelines, can't do it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You've got
Yeah.
a whole
So
renewal of
perhaps
things
perhaps in
changing.
the federal level they'll change the guidelines. I mean, but for like VA buyers, how are we gonna do that? We can't.
Well, I see that one's never changing. Yeah, VA, FHA, I'm
Okay.
sure it would never change.
Well,
but
that goes like to my point why I feel like it's gonna get stale for a little while. Like things are just gonna sit because you're gonna have to figure out guidelines on
Yeah.
loans. You're gonna have to figure out all that stuff. Like it.
well, this
it-
whole thing's not even going to court until May 9th.
May 9th.
So we don't know anything.
nothing's set in stone, but
Yeah.
that's kind of like the presented conditions and stuff. But where are you buying a house that's affordable here in San Antonio?
So I said it's more affordable. I didn't say it was affordable.
Yeah,
Southside, bro. All day long.
Southside. I mean, I-90 and like out towards SeaWorld. There's a lot of like KB Homes and some of those going out there.
Classy.
But very classy. I mean, even here in 78247, 78232, you can get lucky and find like that 280, 320, but it's going to need work,
Some
right? Most of the work being that it's just outdated. It's, an 83, 82, 70s home, somewhere around there, and it just needs more updates. But I feel like the buyers that I've traditionally helped, I've tried to set that expectation of reality. Like, hey, if you're a first-time home buyer, you might not get everything you want the first time. Just FYI, right? You're not going to get your quartz countertops, your big walk-in shower with jetted tub. Like,
I'd even scratch the mite out and be like, you're not.
You're
gonna
not.
get- You're not getting that dream.
Yeah,
We're gonna help
something
you.
that
well, I say you might not because you could find an older home with one of those bigger tubs.
Have we forgotten the fact that it's their first house?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's not supposed to have everything.
Right. You actually have to work your way up to
You got to
get
work
that
your way up to
dream
it.
house.
Either one, you got to improve the house that you're buying, or you got to start there and move up.
Yeah.
Or marry
Yeah.
your sugar mama, bro.
Well, and I'm gonna be honest with you.
Big McD
James,
real
James
quick.
aren't that expensive.
one. even though you missed that
I
hot
would
high
rather
school
buy
girl.
a $250,000 house without the coarse countertops and throw some nice granite in there and spend
Oh, yeah.
$2,500 than try
Absolutely.
to buy $350,000 with some nice countertops.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is San Antonio. There's a lot of skilled craftsmen here if you just go out and look for them.
You got to weed through some of those.
So you got to wait through. I mean, you can get some
There's
good.
a lot of skills.
You can
If
get
you
some
go
quality
through,
work
if you
done.
go through about 15 of them that say they're good, you will find somebody amazing.
You'll find 1%. The 1%er.
Thousands of dollars to find the good ones.
So the back to production. I used to always say like there's an 80-20 rule in real estate, right? 20% of the agents are doing 80% of the work. Turns out that's way off. I read
It's
an
like
article-
95.5.
yeah, it's like a 95.5.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
nuts to me. That so only 5% of the agents across the U.S. are doing like 95% of the
Business.
work.
Yeah,
believe it,
it's
yeah.
gotten skewed.
Yeah.
Well, that's where, like Mike was saying, this is going to weed out a ton of poor agents.
Other ones that just like my cousin's a realtor. He sells one house a year.
The barrier to get in is so low, and everybody thinks they can do it. And just like everybody's industry here, I mean, it's easy to get in, and everybody thinks, oh, I can make an easy buck. But it's not easy.
I mean, we've halved this year, so half the loan officers did not renew last year. We're
It's easy to get in. It's hard to stay in.
yeah.
like it's
Easy
one of
to
those
get
things.
in and easy to get out. Too.
Well, that was like when I came. So I don't know if you experienced the same thing because we both, for everybody watching and listening, both Ryan and I were both up in Washington State. Ryan was on the west side. I was on the east side. East side. I was on the strong side. But anyway, I had to throw that out there.
Yeah, he's about to
I had-
hit
I had to
tackle
throw it
somebody.
out.
He's a soccer player, everybody.
Throw the flag.
Growing up,
Somebody watch Remember the Titans one too many times.
I just watched it the other day. What are you talking about? No, but like kind of seeing the market, the difference in markets, like is totally weird and random to me. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, I sold a bunch of homes up there, and I feel like Washington was way more advanced than San Antonio was as far as like what the agents were actually doing. So it's like now I'll go on a listing appointment or I'll meet a buyer and they're like, holy crap, you do this for people? I'm like, it's like what I do. Like, they're like, oh dude, like I've never seen an agent with a 6-foot post and solar lights and flyer boxes and
It's going to raise
stuff
the bar.
like that. Like it's just raising that bar, and I think now's the time to raise it even higher.
Do you clean their shoes before they walk in the house?
I don't clean their shoes.
He has a shoe shiner.
I put booties. I have a
It's
shoe
like-
shiner in there.
I have,
It sits in there
I have a
daily.
sign.
Okay. The booty. I have a sign. The booties, though, that was massive in Washington.
Oh, yeah.
That
Booties?
took me a while to like
Get used
walk
to
into a
booties.
house and not take my shoes off and not put the booties. And I think there's a lot of Asian cultures within
Yes.
Washington, so I think a lot of that has to do with that. It's like even on a normal day, you don't walk into someone's house with shoes on, like it's offensive.
I had a
And the rain. I think that's
up in
that's
Washington.
it.
I had one of the. They sold a machine. Forget the name of it, but it was
Oh, it, like puts the booty on.
yeah.
your,
It puts
yeah,
the boot, it
those are
wraps
cool.
the shoe. Like it wraps your
That's
shoe for you.
ridiculous.
That's actually really cool.
Right.
Though.
You'd
It's a
walk.
shoe
It
bony.
was smart.
No, you would walk. Everybody thought it was so cool. They'd walk in and just like stick their feet and wrap their feet. They could walk around the house.
I kind of want to get one for my house.
It's
Yeah.
legit, dude.
And now you're here, you don't even think about taking your shoes off.
Yeah, now I'm here. I'm like,
Even
oh,
if it's raining, I'm like,
well, I mean,
It's
it was
Texas.
it was different up there.
Yeah.
It's like
You
the
got your boots
houses up
on,
there. You feel like they would have like hardwood floors or like tile, but no, you'd walk in right, and the landing pad for the entrance is carpet. In a state where it rains and snows most of the year.
Yeah.
That ain't
ain't right.
That is not right.
Let's move on from real estate. I'm real estate out for today.
Your real estate out. TikTok ban.
TikTok
Mike.
ban. So, well, I listened to this podcast yesterday.
Was it the Homes and Homies podcast?
Unfortunately, it was not.
Oh,
but
shoot.
but I'll go back and listen to this one now that we're talking about it.
I'll learn something from me.
So there's
I'll teach myself.
There's two trains of thought here. So, I mean, TikTok, we know it is used by China for nefarious purposes.
Uh-oh.
They're not using it for good purposes. They're not our friend. But yet, whenever the government gets involved and wants to ban something and it's supported on both sides of the aisle, it makes me really nervous. What is going to be in that bill that they're so happy to get it passed? So they went back and forth about that, and the stuff that they're putting in this bill is open for interpretation, and it gives the president the right to decide who is banned and who's not banned. And there's some pretty loose language in there. So I mean, I'm a libertarian,
Well,
and my personal opinion is that you're responsible for yourself. If you want to use TikTok and do stupid stuff, you got to pay the consequences. It's not somebody else's fault.
Well, did you see the Instagram update?
No,
Instagram updated overnight. You didn't even know it.
I didn't even know it.
What did they update
They
from?
so they added a setting onto their back end that basically enables them to throttle like the political content that you see.
So you're saying I shouldn't be accepting all these Chinese friend requests?
Probably
on
not.
TikTok?
Well, no, this is Instagram. TikTok's a different story.
A different story.
The Homes and Homie podcast
it
has
bumped my
8K on
phones up by
TikTok.
thousands,
I know,
so I added them all.
We're TikTok strong.
It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, that's weird though. I mean, I don't want to call out names, but some presidents have had some conflicts of interest with China, and here we go with the president being able to dictate now.
Who's banned? Who's not banned?
Obama.
Obama.
No Obama. So,
Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah, I mean TikTok and China's out admitted that they're going after our children. They're showing them stuff that we as parents don't even know that they're being seen.
That is true.
Kind of like the flat Earth theory that I was talking about when I
You know what?
walked
It's
in.
extremely scary.
You mean it's not flat?
Have
Oh,
you
is
seen
it not?
Have you seen the concerts nowadays? Like mainstream concerts, those are pretty twisted. I went on like a little rabbit hole.
Oh, you
of,
mean like
the ones
the-
inside the meta, or the ones outside the meta?
Like Billie Eilish, and I don't even know.
No,
what's
he's
in
talking about,
what's in
like,
the
Taylor
meta.
Swift
like
and-
Taylor Swift and all the stuff
you a
they're
Swiftie?
doing.
They're like
No,
pouring blood on the stage.
yeah, they're pretty twisted. And I got in the rabbit hole last night, and I was like, I stopped watching this. I got a little terrified just to walk to my bedroom in the dark.
he calls John. John, can you come walk into my room?
John, is your dad still available to come do some demon casting out of my house, please?
5 Hail Marys. Hail Marys.
Five Hail Marys.
You need 12
What's that?
Hail
What's that
Marys
prayer
way.
again?
Taylor Swifty's gonna bust in your room at night.
No,
and
that's
Swiftie.
jack you
Have
up.
you not seen them?
The
I've
Swifties?
No, like on TikTok. Go down the rabbit hole of like
That's pretty crazy.
It's pretty far fetched.
Demonic and
There are some-
iconic.
there are
Conspiracy
some
stuff,
wild ones.
but there are doctors out there that are starting to say that there is a Swift
Syndrome?
syndrome because some women have gone to her concert and been like, I don't remember even being there.
It was so awesome.
Well, there's a lot of that stuff now where they infuse like different rhythms into music, and it's almost like a trance.
Uh-oh,
And
now
somebody
The
told me
rabbit hole's
that.
getting deeper.
Dubstep.
Yeah,
EDM,
getting
some-
further in there. Because I had a buddy that told me that, where he's into all the music production and
Yeah.
was like, dude, that's
Well, yeah, like different frequencies and hertz will give you like symptoms. Like it can make your head hurt. And
that's my alibi for doing anything wrong. I was
Yeah.
like, I was listening to some of that
Watch too
music.
much.
Hey,
Oh, you mean Jumanji's not real?
I run the dubstep. That's good stuff to run to.
Do you really?
I do. Yeah, that's my choice.
That's like
of running music.
175 beats per minute.
I've sprinted my
Mike's like, he's all head bobbing. Oh, my neck muscle. Mortgage rates, Mike. Let's talk about mortgage rates.
Well, wait, I don't want to go there yet. So we were talking about TikTok and demonic stuff, and it kind of segues into my. I don't think I made it up on the board, but I
Are
see
you going
that.
from demonic to mortgage rates?
Well, I'm coming back to mortgage.
Okay,
Shut up, that's right.
Ryan, you got 2 minutes on the hot
Right, my
seat.
feet.
Talk about your demonic TikToks that you watch.
So
I mean, I go down the flat Earth theory on TikTok. So
I see that the UN has now told Israel they have to stop their offenses.
Are they going to actually do anything about it, or are they just going to talk about it?
They're going to tell them you can't do that, and they wave their finger. I don't know, but I mean, if you open the Bible, it says that Israel has to stand alone in the end days, and things are lining up that way.
that kind of lines up with my flat Earth theory, though.
There you go.
John's like, let me hear this.
Just
No, I'm kind of like, man, I don't know what podcast I just got on.
Did you put that music in your earphones?
it's all Ryan's fault, honestly.
Yeah, I'm like, this was such a cool podcast.
So y'all walked in, I thought we were going fishing. So I thought we were canceling the podcast.
Got me a bass on the line.
Got me a bass.
All right, skip that one then.
But mortgage rates.
Mortgage rates. Actually, the last few days have gotten slightly better, and we're back in the high sixes for the most part. So I'm pleased we're going in the right direction currently.
Yeah, interesting.
And that is the work of Jesus.
Oh, I said a lot of Hail Marys over the weekend, so I'm covered with lower rates.
That's too funny.
High sixes.
High sixes.
Okay.
So if you look at it, that's less than average.
Are
High
they coming
sixes.
down, you think, this year further,
No.
or are they going the other way?
Well, so go ahead. No,
The stock
you're smarter
market,
than me,
man.
anyways.
John just
I'm
got
not
his
smarter than him.
John just got
No.
his license.
No, I did not. I did not.
But he is getting his master's.
They did say Powell did say that they're gonna do 3
cutting them,
cuts.
Yeah.
So
They'll probably be more towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well,
assume.
and they said that the target of 2% is probably pretty unrealistic right now, and they're
Yeah.
going to kind of look past that as long as the other numbers kind of line up.
Well, I know I hate going back to another lawsuit, but I would hate for them to cut rates as those new things go into place, and then rates go back up later on.
That's the game. I honestly believe that's the big picture.
I think it's to slow the market down. Honestly,
that's how
I
you
think
curb
that's
inflation.
What do you mean
it's,
slow the market down? It's creeping along as it is.
it's creeping though. That's the problem.
They don't want it to creep.
I think they want it to creep.
They want it to
That's-
creep. They want it to creep, but they
it's
don't.
but it's a
But home prices are still rising. Home prices are still going up.
That's supply and demand.
yeah, and they should keep rising just because that's.
But we keep letting people, we keep growing.
The population of the United States is growing exponentially.
You got homeowners being arrested for squatters now too in New York.
Oh, I read that article. That's
You got-
crazy.
You got county sheriffs and sheriffs.
Wait. Let's reel this. What happened?
So there was a homeowner in the city of New York who inherited through probate her mom's property, and during taking possession while she was renovating the house, a squatter went in there when she was on vacation or something. I don't know how long she was gone, but the squatter went in there, and when the police were called because she was trying to remove the squatters, the police arrested her because after 30 days in the state of New York, they have
Squatters' rights.
they have tenant rights.
Yeah.
Right.
My mind is blown.
30 days.
But wait, did you see the other wrinkle?
Jeez.
Oh, the one in Florida?
No. So the story goes on.
Oh, I didn't read the
Oh,
rest of it.
there's a follow up. So she got arrested. She went to jail, and the guy could
What?
not. The squatter couldn't prove that he had been there for 30 days. So basically, so he had to go. They got rid of him. But when she went back to go to her house again, there was a different guy in there, and he had a lease from the squatter.
Oh yeah.
So he had a signed lease that he was the squatter was subleasing the house to this guy.
And he was subleasing it to him for like $1,500 or
Yeah.
something crazy. Yeah. I read that. I did see that.
Dude,
now.
that is like
I didn't know that the
capitalism.
stories were like.
Talk about going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
Bob.
but
it's
then
your house, but you get arrested for kicking some guy who shouldn't
Sure.
even. It's called trespassing.
And I just saw
Joe,
a
can't
TikTok.
she kick that one out now?
Right?
It's like it's
That'd be
a
awesome
novella.
if she
We gotta
goes
watch
to
it
jail
all.
like
You
Yeah.
can kick the new one out, but you got to leave the tenant who's renting down below.
He has legal rights to be there. He's got a lease.
So, and they do have legal rights because if the house is dilapidated, right, then the squatter actually has the ability to move in and actually make repairs to the house and claim that they actually live in the house.
But isn't that like a 7-year process?
Not in New
No,
York. It's
not in New York.
Wow.
New York's 30 days. They got tenant rights.
And there's actually
Tenant rights.
yeah.
They arrested her because she changed the locks.
Yeah.
That's what it was. She had changed the door locks, and with tenant rights, you
That
can't
blows
change.
my mind.
Sure.
I'm glad I don't live in New York.
Amen, brother.
Get
Texas.
this, and there's TikToks now that they're
Tell you
putting
how
this
to-
on there that are telling you
Yeah.
how to do this, and they're telling other
That's
squatters.
nuts. Man.
Well, and to counteract that, there's a TikTok channel called Squatter Squad, and it's a dude that's like an ex-lawyer Marine dude that's going around kicking all these squad. He basically rolls up to the house and serves them with this notice, and is like, okay, well, you have tenant rights, but as a landlord, we have permission since we're contracted by the owner to come into the house and perform an inspection. And during the inspection, he starts tearing stuff apart, pulling the windows off of it, and the dude is it's getting nuts.
Yeah, that's tough.
Because then down south in Florida, the county sheriff was encouraging homeowners to take action.
No.
I like how you said that.
If it is your home, do what you need to do to get rid of the problem. Is basically
You know
what
what
he
you should
said.
do is just take the doors off.
I didn't change the locks.
No, just take the front door
I'm
off.
glad you're drinking that thing. I thought that was some kind of concoction that was like, let's try this thing.
Let's try this. No, we're not there yet. But you got the brown bag today, buddy.
No, these guys are pretty good.
Made me
You
nervous.
gotta eat some of those.
Try some of those.
Don't block James. He wants to be
so
seen.
greasy on the bottom.
It's like seeping through. What is it?
like a
Just-
red-
No, we took it light
It's
this week
delicious.
because all of us had a pretty busy weekend.
It's just
So-
Five Guy-
Five
Guy
last
fries.
week, man, that was a little too much.
That was
hot.
It was. I didn't have a problem with the hot, but it was just like the
pickle
we
stuff was
had we had
gross.
like 6 things
it
that wasn't right. Like back
the
back
pickle
to back.
cotton candy
Yeah.
after
Put
you ate
some
the
extra
hot
on it?
stuff.
No, it's the
And
fries
washing it
from
down
Five
with
Guys.
enchilada soda
So it's got, like, their
with those little sour
salt,
bombs.
yeah.
I mean, I just
Yeah,
that was
go-
just too much, and I was like, we can take a breather from that.
Yeah, that pickled cotton candy was a little bit.
That was
Well,
too much.
those pickled drops are horrible.
They were bad.
They were worse than the vomit jelly beans.
Jelly
I wouldn't
beans.
say worse.
No, they were
I had
worse.
one of those, and that was bad. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still caught up on Mike being able to choke down the puke flavored jelly bean.
That wasn't so bad.
that sounds
The
disgusting.
dead fish was bad.
I swallow my puke every week. Once a week. I throw up till I puke and I just
He's like,
swallow it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a runner. That's what we
We're
do.
looking at mortgage rates. I don't swallow it anyway, so I'm used to it.
So, what are some other ways, to bring some more education back to the list for the listeners? What are some other ways that are non-traditional for somebody wanting to buy a home to get into a home?
Squatting.
Well, I mean,
I feel like you need to drop that mic now.
You don't want to squat in Texas, you'll get shot.
we were talking about loan assumptions,
Yeah,
right? And assuming the loan of the seller.
So an
Which-
assumption sounds really sexy. I can get somebody's rate at 2.5%. I'm looking all puffed up. But the problem being is you've got to make up the difference between the purchase price and the loan amount. And if that person bought that property when rates are 2.5%, they've held it for 3 years, it's gone up a lot. You got to bring a big old chunk of change to assume that loan because you can't add to a loan. You're just assuming it. You're taking it as is, putting your name on it, taking their name off.
So basically, you're paying their equity.
Yeah,
In
absolutely.
cash,
In cash.
out.
You're paying their equity in cash.
Could somebody pull out a loan for that equity, or would that just not be? Would it be more
you,
wise
you've
to
got
go
to find
and,
somebody who can find who's going to give you that loan. I mean, nobody's going to give you 100% financing, so you're going to bare minimum 10% down.
right?
So I mean, like a VA assumption sounds really cool, but you're not doing it.
Interesting.
Well, especially if they've held it for.
Yeah, like I said, if you want the rate, they've held it for a good chunk of appreciation.
You should pitch assumption to some of the people that have, for buyers to go buy some of the properties that people bought back in the 80s. They'd appreciate the rates that we have
Oh,
nowadays.
yeah. Yes, indeed.
I don't think buyers do enough research or are educated enough to realize that 6%, high 6% is still
It's still below average.
it's still below average.
But honestly, I think that the buyers have gotten a little more accustomed to what rates are at it.
Right.
So when it first started to go up, people were their hair was on fire. The heads were spinning around. They go, "Blah." they're spewing like crazy. But now there's a lot more.
Well, and you had a whole bunch of other people that bought, because I mean that was a massive buy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so you had a whole bunch of people buy when rates are 2%, and there is zero incentive to
sell.
sell. Zero incentive to sell. Like, I mean, there's financial advisors telling people that are that they're using, like, hey, rent that out if you want to go get another house, because there's a great interest rate, you know.
I think, and I've been talking to my wife about this all the time. I'm like, because we got a kid, and I'm like, by the time he's old, if home prices just keep going up and up and up, by the time he's old enough to even want to buy a house, it's going to have to be something that's passed down to him, I think. And more people in our generation need to understand that generational wealth is going to be what's runs real estate in the future. I feel like. I don't know.
It's possible.
I don't think incomes are keeping up with
They're
appreciation.
They're actually what, down 2% over the last 3 years.
What is
People's actual income.
Oh yeah.
Oh, in relation to
Well, no,
inflation.
not even
No,
putting
just
in
say,
relation. But like in relation to inflation, though, absolutely.
Oh, you're
is.
getting pummeled.
Yeah. But actual income is down
Yeah.
like 2%.
What's the average income in the U.S. right now? Like 48,000, somewhere around there. It's pretty low, isn't it? It's not
I
very
don't
high.
know. No, I think it's higher than that.
Yeah.
Because
Household income is higher. I know that for sure. But like individual income, it's probably somewhere in the 40s, 50s.
I don't know.
Which is sad, because what do you need to? How much do you need to make to buy let's say a $340,000 house here in San Antonio?
So 5 times your annual salary is about the peak of what you can be at. So you need to be at what, 65 to get there, and that's with no other debt.
See, but 65, I mean, that's a doable income for a lot of people.
Yeah, but then you have to have no car payment, no student loans.
Exactly. That's
No kids, no
if you're
girlfriend.
No kids.
No
if you're
Sancho.
if you're new to the podcast and you're listening to this, don't go buy that car. Buy your house first if you want to have somewhere nice to
Then
live.
buy a car.
Then buy a car. then buy the Lamborghini. I think that's the misconception too. Is a lot of people would rather have that luxury car than have the house, but then will complain when rents go up too.
And your car's the depreciating asset.
Yeah.
For a time there, they were the appreciated.
Well, there was a small window in the whole supply chain glitch, but that corrected itself.
Not trying to play like devil's advocate, but there are a lot of people that if they are at that borderline, $50,000, $60,000 income, there's a lot of responsibility that goes into home ownership.
Oh,
also,
right.
I mean, granted, you get a massive amount of wealth on the back end, comparatively speaking, but I mean, you have to maintain that, and the maintenance is not cheap on a lot of houses. I mean, especially if you buy in that, the 70s, 80s houses, it's like you're going to have to spend $20,000-$30,000 a year to get that up to where it needs to be.
Yeah, if my son were to buy a house today, I would definitely tell him don't max out. I would tell him 3 times your annual salary, that's your top. Because stuff happens, life happens. You want the stuff called food,
Yeah.
Right.
and you need gas to make your car go. So if you're so maxed out that all you can do is drive to work and come home because that's all you got, what's your life like?
I think a lot of people live like that too. They they need to realize they don't need to take the maximum loan amount. Like you can take 4 aspirin before dying. Do you take 4 aspirin? No, you take 2, right? You try not to go.
I take 4.
I don't get that one. Can you explain that to me?
So you can take 4 aspirin, right? You can take up to 4 aspirin at a time, but you take 2. Okay.
Take 2.
Go with it, Mike.
I'm
Go
going with it.
Okay.
He's just saying the recommended. You stay below the recommended.
Right. If the speed limit's 75, you don't have to drive 75.
I've done more than
You
4.
do 90.
I was gonna say,
Come on, man.
Like, don't most people go 80 on a 75?
Precisely.
Didn't you just do a transaction with loan assumption? Was it loan? Oh, you did. What was it? The other route that they can go is seller finance.
That you can do.
We did seller finance, yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
No.
Yeah, sure.
Eat some more hot fries then.
I mean,
Right.
that's not quite a unicorn, but it's pretty rare.
Seller financing, I think it's a great avenue.
Pass
I
me
mean,
some of
that's
those,
something.
James.
I think it's good for people too. That the struggle with that is it's only a few certain people can do it because
Yeah,
you,
it can
you
be.
don't
It can
you don't
be
want to have
win-win.
you don't want to have a mortgage. I mean, you can
suppose-
still do it with a mortgage, but then it's
Yeah.
you got loan assumption. But it's I mean you can basically set your rate
Yeah.
as long as
if I'm
somebody's
an
willing
older
to pay
couple, I
it.
want to sell my house. I don't need the cash. I can be the mortgage company for somebody buying my house.
And that's who we did it with too.
And I can get
It was
all
an
kind
older.
of interest, and I'm happy to do that. But it's got to fit.
To me, it's like an annuity. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's usually the older clients that are willing to do it because they're, getting a monthly annuity payment. But then again, you can do seller finance and do a balloon on 5 years.
Yeah.
And get paid out and say, good luck. You got to go refinance in 5 years, and I'm taking
Now
my.
it's mine.
Yeah, exactly.
And all the money you just
And,
paid me.
and it's cool too because if they don't pay, like we had this attorney write up, if these guys don't pay within the 10-day window, they're getting evicted. So it's not like not evicted, foreclosed on.
Foreclosed.
So it's not like an eviction.
Well, you can start
or
the
a
foreclosure
rental.
process,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's not. Basically, they don't pay, then they're getting out.
You don't
it's
pay,
not
you
like
don't
an
stay.
eviction where you have to wait and go to court. It's.
But a foreclosure, isn't that?
Yeah, there's a lot of
still,
hoops you got to
it's
jump
still
through.
a
it
3-month
still is a
process.
process. It's a wait, but it's not as intense, and there's not as many question marks as can I get them out or do I have to wait?
Yeah.
Eviction could take years.
Because normal foreclosure
be-
is what, 90 days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. And
Unless
then
you're in Louisiana.
yeah. Then they send a notice of default.
Get
The
out.
first
Ernest
notice.
went all in. The fries are out of the bag.
Right, dude.
Can't tell
No,
back
there's more in
from
the bag.
Oh, yeah.
Hand me that greasy bag.
Here's a napkin if you want to pour some out.
I don't need a stinking napkin.
Do they still do peanuts at Five Guys?
They do.
Do.
I almost brought some too. I was gonna buy the bag, but the lady looked at me funny and told me these fries were $8, and I was like, "What? I don't even get a burger with
Can
fries
you
for
get,
$8."
do you have to buy the bag of peanuts, or can you
have
still
to
get
buy
them at the front?
Yeah, well, you can get them at the front, but they come in that little.
You just wait in line.
Yeah.
Just keep eating.
So why don't you just
It's not my
scoop
turn
them?
yet.
Like,
I'll
can, I
just start
just,
shoving my pockets.
like, can I just get another empty bag, please? I need some peanuts.
Can I get one of these cups?
Right.
So, what were the 5 ways to lower your mortgage this spring?
Oh, Mike had a good idea.
Let me guess. I don't know what they are. I didn't read the article. But my 5 ways are: 1, get a new home insurance quote. 2,
Call my insurance.
Protest your taxes.
protest your
Yes.
taxes. That's one of them.
May 15th is the deadline.
Number
FYI.
3 is if you have mortgage insurance, see if you can petition to have it removed. 4,
Don't pay. Your
I got a
mortgage.
question on that.
don't pay late.
Don't pay at all. Then you keep the money.
On
Then they kick
Lauren,
you out.
on Lauren, that insurance. So I've looked at that on mine.
Are you talking mortgage insurance or are you talking house insurance?
The mortgage.
Okay, mortgage insurance.
So you have to have 20%
Of the original law.
of the original, like 20% when you bought it,
All right, so
or
as
of the current 20%.
as the law is written. So at 78% of loan to value of scheduled payments, it automatically drops off. It sounds cool. It's automatically drop off. It's not dropping off for like 12 years. It's on there for like a long time. But after you've made 2 years worth of payments, you can petition to have it removed to
So
your
you have to
mortgage
have it
servicer.
for 2 years.
2 years of good payment, unless you do a big old reduction in principal, because then you're going to be at that level anyways. But after 2 years, you can get a new appraisal and then use that value to see if you.
So you have to
But
pay
you
for,
have to get an
you have to
appraisal,
pay
right?
for
But
the
you
appraisal.
got to pony up, or you got to use the original value.
Gotcha.
So if you want to get your appreciation, then you got to pony up and get an appraisal. But cost of
I mean-
$600 versus
Paying all that.
$100 a month,
Yeah.
you get it back pretty quick.
Well, we already just got a tax break too. The homestead exemption
Oh,
is
yeah.
up to 100K.
That's
Mike
nice.
Mike doesn't get it.
Why don't I get it?
I don't know. You're 100%, aren't you?
No, I'm 0% disabled.
Easier.
But mentally, I'm 100% disabled, but not according to the VA.
Yeah.
I don't say. I wish I was disabled. But,
let's see if Mike hit all the bullet points that the article read.
yeah.
So work with a mortgage broker, except
How does that change your mortgage payment?
I don't know. It says while many buyers simply go to their local bank, popular online lender to obtain a mortgage, working with an independent mortgage broker can pay off and in certain cases be quite significant. That's because mortgage brokers have access to wholesale mortgage rates
Shop for a
from
new
a
mortgage.
variety of lenders and can shop your loan scenario to find you the best deal.
So I'm gonna have to throw my 2 cents in there. Mortgage brokers are great; they can be, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like a balloon. They're like if you push over here, something else is gonna come up over here. So it's like you might look at an interest rate that looks lower, but they're not gonna really talk about all these origination costs over here that you're paying for. It's just and vice versa, right? Like they'll put money somewhere. It's always kind of fun to see. It looks like a better deal if what you're looking at is what's important to you.
Working with a broker, working with a bank, the two differences in what you see on the paperwork.
Right.
So real fast, a mortgage bank versus mortgage broker. So a mortgage bank is going to process the whole loan from start to finish. It's their employees, it's their underwriter, it's their funds to fund the loan come day of closing. Where a mortgage broker's a guy like me going, X, Y, Z bank, do you want my loan? Do you want my loan? Do you want my loan? So I'm kind of your advocate, but I'm trying to see who wants to take your loan. And there's almost only so much profit in a loan that can be sliced and diced, like John said.
Yeah.
So then I have no control over how is it going to process? Is it going to close on time? What are the fees going to be? I don't know.
And
Well,
this is with you guys too. The underwriting, and Drew explained that to me really well too. The underwriting is in y'all's control.
It's our underwriters,
with
yeah.
you guys, with the broker.
What are you
it's-
thinking? And we can have a discussion. With brokers,
Yeah. It's rolling dice, right,
Yeah.
man? Hopefully we get somebody that's going to take care of this.
yeah.
It's like going in front of a judge.
Yeah,
Never
I've
wanna do that.
I've never been for one of those.
No,
Until you do
Never.
McDaniel Realty. Big Mac Realty.
Big Mac Realty.
Let's supersize that house.
So this is why it's important to
Supersize
read
that house.
read the article, not just the title, because the title is 5 surprising ways to get a lower mortgage rate this spring.
It's, mortgage rate. I thought it was mortgage payment.
That's
Yeah,
what I
they
thought
would-
too. But
So you fell for clickbait?
it's clickbait, dude. Work with mortgage brokers. Work with a mortgage broker is one.
Yeah, and the only way they're going to do that is a refinance, and that's going to cost it's going to
Buy
cost
more-
you thousands of dollars to refinance. And right now, if you bought a mortgage in between 2020 and 2022,
got good.
you're not refinancing at a better rate.
No, thank you. Buy mortgage discount points. Move your closing date. The interest rate you lock in is partially determined by when your mortgage loan is scheduled to close or be delivered. Lenders may quote you a slightly lower mortgage rate if you're willing to close towards the end of the month rather than the beginning. Is that true?
No. What a bunch of baloney this article is. Who wrote this?
I'll tell you here in a second.
They don't know what they're talking about.
Opt for a shorter loan term.
.com.
Well, this is on CBS News.
Yeah.
30-year fixed mortgage rates are the most popular option. You may be able to get a better rate if you opt in for a 15-year mortgage.
That is,
No,
that is
that's
true.
true.
Yeah,
That's
that
true.
is
That's true. I mean, but people are already struggling with 30-year mortgage.
And your monthly mortgage payment will drastically go up.
Instead of $2,200 a month, you are at $45.
Well, it's actually about a third more.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but
So
you,
it's not crazy, and it's
No.
actually really smart financially. But like you said, people are struggling to afford as is. You add a third onto it now, you just buy a third less house.
Right. Negotiate everything. Like that wasn't common sense to begin with.
wait a second. You can save money if you negotiate.
Wait.
Thanks, CBS.
It's like
News.
that,
Or
it's like
was
that-
Is that CNN or CBS?
CBS.
Thank you, CBS.
Oh, I think I see a bonus tip on there. Call Mike.
Just call Mike. It's like that movie scene. I forget. We're the Millers. And he's like,
You-
Dude,
I love that meme.
Somebody do it because I have no idea what it
So
is.
the meme is, and it's been about a bunch of different things. So the one that I saw that was really funny is about COVID, where it's like, I think it's Europe, and then it's talking to America, and then China was like, "You guys are keeping track with COVID cases
Yeah.
or COVID deaths."
No, it was. They did one with real estate agents now, where it's like, you're getting $10,000, and then the girl's like, "What? You're getting $10,000? I'm only getting $1,000."
And then like
then
Lennar
it's
sells
like-
people, it's like, "You're getting commission."
That's basically what it was.
Think you got like a
messed
turkey
up.
when you fill one out.
Yeah.
Here's your turkey.
But yes, you can negotiate everything. I think they're referencing like trying to negotiate your points or your loan fees.
So you again, it's like a balloon, right? Like it's going to go up somewhere. So it's like if you get this down, and it makes sense to buy down a loan
It does.
if you're going to stay
Depends.
there for a long time. But if you're not going to stay there for a long time,
Don't do it.
why would you buy it down?
Right. Interesting. And then it says in the bottom line, to wrap it all up, while higher mortgage rates are common in today's economic landscape, think creatively about ways to lower your rate can pay off tremendously. By using strategies like negotiating fees aggressively and buying discount points, you may be able to save thousands this spring home buying season. Who wrote this?
They're like, if you want to be aggressive, use 4-letter words like F you.
Her name is it's Angelica Light at CBS Money Watch.
Thanks.
Thanks, Angelina.
You're great.
Angelica.
Be aggressive. Kick the door in. Tell
Did
that
you know
MFer.
you can negotiate? Wait a second. You can negotiate? I didn't know that.
Tell that stupid loan officer. He
You
doesn't know
can
what
tell the squatter to leave. Don't change the locks in New York.
So March Madness, and let's wrap it up, guys. But March Madness. Who here has brackets?
I didn't bracket this year.
You didn't bracket?
I feel unmanly, honestly. I didn't get a bracket in this year.
didn't bracket.
Well, we had a retreat this past weekend, and so it was just kind of ruined everything. As far as-
I was shocked by looking at some of the games. There's what Kentucky was out, and
Kentucky went down.
Yeah.
To
Kansas
Oklahoma,
lost?
Oakland.
And
Kansas
I
won.
mean, Baylor wasn't a huge surprise to me.
that was last night, right? Clemson.
Yeah, wasn't a huge surprise to me just because they lost like one of their best players. But I was still a little surprised they lost to Clemson. I was like, man, that's. And then
That's a bummer.
Yeah, you said Houston was trash. Oh, I'm sorry.
Dude, they barely beat A&M. What are you talking about?
Well, Houston lost their championship, and so did North Carolina. I think it's going to be a big upset year coming down.
I mean, I watched that Houston A&M game last night, and I was not. So Houston looked like they should win the whole game, but it's like A&M took them into overtime, and you're just like, man, I don't know. I'm not feeling.
You're not
like
feeling Houston?
the number one seed. You know what I mean? It's like I could be wrong. I'm not seeing them go all the way.
No, I don't. I thought Kentucky for sure, but they went down to Oakland, and then Oakland fell. I think Gonzaga's going to win it this year, though, I'll be honest with you.
And
Well, I thought Gonzaga had a
what's
close-
nice is you've
close
said
one,
this.
too.
They did.
You've said this the last month. So
You've been
been
the
loyal.
Gonzaga about
Yeah,
that
you've been
way.
loyal.
He's saying Gonzaga. He used to live right there by Gonzaga. That's why he's saying this, the East Side Washington. So.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
drop
Oh,
side.
wow, he was
That's
right
just
there.
that's just the goodest way to pick a team, anyways.
Yeah.
guess
I mean,
so.
would you
I
go
like
for,
their- I
would
like
you go for
uniform color.
UTSA in March Madness?
No.
No, I'm sure there's some people around here that might. I'm
Have they-
sure.
have
I'm
they
sure
ever
they're
made it to the
Cowboys
big
fans
games?
too.
I don't think so.
no.
UTSA, no.
No.
What? Their AAC, American Athletic Conference, something like that? I
They
think-
made the 64 though before. I
Have
know
they?
that. Yeah. I think
got-
that was
it got an
fairly recent,
invitation?
wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's decent. but-
16?
No,
I think they're all in on football.
They made
though.
the top 32.
I think
I don't think
UTSA
they
is all
made
in.
that. I don't think they made that either. I don't think they made it past
football-
64.
The football's doing pretty good.
Yeah, their football is getting more and more.
Yeah, it's
impressive.
getting better. It's Texas. We love football.
Yeah.
We love football.
Well, they're recruiting
Unless
now
you can,
too. So they
unless you
got.
can't tackle
I
anyone.
mean, Houston
hip
again.
tackles.
I'm
They're
not
done.
trying to talk like James said. I said they suck. I didn't say they suck. I was shocked how much they let A&M stay in that game.
I didn't see the overtime finish, but I heard it was pretty crazy. It was like 96 to.
So to me, it felt like Houston should win the whole game, and then they let A&M come back, or A&M came back.
Yeah.
However you want to say it, but it was just like, wow, that probably.
Did they cover the overline?
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
even look at the over under, but I would guess they did because of the overtime.
So Vegas wasn't involved then. If they covered, then
Yeah, I don't.
Guido didn't have anybody on that team.
Guido. Well, should we wrap it?
Well, I was kind of curious. Didn't hear anything about the flat earthers. I was kind of curious.
Yeah, you keep talking about these flat earthers.
These
Do
flat
you really
earthers.
believe this flat Earth thing, or are you just
I don't
saying-
know, man. It's crazy. Now you got like Rampage Jackson, the ex-UFC guy, coming out being like,
The UFC, he took so many blows to the head.
well, I know. Yeah, I mean, it could be that, but
Like who else is?
The earth is
but
flat.
what's weird is like
Theorists are.
I don't know.
So-
Like if you read this, like the Bible, if like it mentions firmament, it mentions four corners, which would all point to flat. Like it would be like a table, right?
Ernest. You're not
I
going
don't
down.
believe
Okay,
it's
okay,
flat.
cool. I just am like, oh my
I'm just saying-
god, like
No, I'm just saying.
So
Like,
then that kind of puts you in the whole all moon visits were fake, and
And the
I
moon's,
mean,
this moon's made out of
that's-
cheese.
Have you heard from
the
what's
moon looks
what's
pretty
the guy's
damn
name?
circular to me too. Is the moon flat?
It's a sphere. And then, like, all the other planets are spheres. Like, literally, you can get a telescope and look at them.
That's what boggles my mind.
I hate to just pop people's bubble. I get, like, thinking the Earth was flat before we had telescopes.
Bubbles are flat, too.
Yeah, like, I mean, I get it. Like, you know, a couple thousand years ago, when we didn't have any telescopes, like, I mean, I can see, like, you know, you can't really look at anything.
Just go on a commercial flight. When you're up at 30,000 feet, if you look, the Earth is round.
Is it?
Yeah, if it's a clear day,
yeah, you can
you
kind
can
of
see curvature.
I don't look out the
He's had
window.
too many whiskeys when he
It's
gets
got
that
to be
high.
clear. It's got to be a clear day where there's no like clouds.
Yeah.
And you can see the curvature.
See, but what's funny to that point is like, so there's been people that go down the flat Earth hole, and they ask pilots. Like there was this guy that was going around asking pilots. He's like, so if the Earth is round, do you have to adjust for the curvature? Right? Like if you were just to fly straight, you would fly off the edge of
but
the
there's
Earth.
this stuff called gravity.
The gravity keeps you going
But
in
he
circles.
said he doesn't have to. Like he doesn't adjust for the.
Yeah. Because he's keeping an altitude of, like, 30,000 feet. Like, I mean,
And
it's-
gravity keeps them checking.
It just pulls you at 30 all the
Yeah,
way.
my mind is boggled. That
I don't know.
Yeah, people-
Wait, so my mind is boggled that people actually think that the Earth is flat in 2024. Like, again, I could totally get it.
Yeah.
In like 1500 BC, even like 280, even maybe 1080, I could get it. But like, we can literally like prove, like, without a shadow of a doubt, this thing is round. We have satellites that go around the world.
I mean, they could even buy a ticket on one of Musk's flights and see for themselves.
When is he doing those? Does he have a date set
I
for
don't know.
those?
He's already done a couple of them.
With people on them?
I don't know that he's done them with people. I know he's still testing his rockets
I've seen the rockets.
to do it. And the last one blew up like.
I was going to say, some of those landings, I don't think I'd buy a ticket yet. I'm like,
Not
but
yet.
I guess like the big thing with the flat earthers, and we're probably gonna piss them off if they watch
Good.
it. But I think I think the idea is that like we went to the moon in what, the 60s,
68.
68, somewhere around there, and haven't been to the moon since.
but
we have more technology.
Did we go to the moon, Mr. Flat Earther?
Who knows?
But why did we go to the
question.
Earth in 68?
Why did we go to Earth?
Yeah, we're going to go to the moon. Why did we go to the moon?
Why did we go to Earth?
we go to Earth?
Are we on Earth?
So we were developing our missile technology so that we could bomb Russia with our nuclear weapons. We had an impetus to get there, and that was our training ground for missiles.
And the moon's what, like 18 million something miles away? 18 million
miles.
Oh shoot, we're gonna get sued. How funny would it be if you just hopped up on the table right now?
I mean, I'm baffled.
I need Mrs. Bigglesworth.
Speaking of being that high in planes, have you ever seen that video where the guys they were dropped off a plane and they have a trampoline above the clouds and they're jumping on a trampoline with obviously their parachutes? But it's like the most terrifying thing that I've
What?
ever seen. It's a trippy video.
So the trampoline like falling with them?
It's up there floating. It's
because
on
it's
it's
a lot
on
more
like a
resistance, I would
parachute,
guess.
so it's staying up there, and they're jumping.
Because their
on
light's
this
got a lot of resistance, so
Makes
they're jumping
sense.
off
with
it. That's
their
pretty cool.
with their like parachute
Dude,
bags.
that
on it.
sounds
I was
amazing.
Like, it sounds amazing.
So
but
where
I'd
did
be
the
terrified.
trampoline land?
I don't know.
Hopefully not on top of you. That sounds amazing.
You ever see those
That's
guys
a
that jump out of the
trippy-
planes with the squirrel suits and they
Yeah.
land on these big airbags?
That's
Yeah.
pretty crazy too.
Have you jumped out of a plane?
Yeah.
I think there's a high death rate. The guys that do
You
the
missed
paraglide like
that.
that,
Yeah, you
like a
mi-
lot of guys die doing that.
Yeah, you got a pretty slim margin of error. If you
A
miss
lot
your,
of them do it through the rocks, and
I mean, parachute's enough for me.
yeah.
I don't want to do the squirrel suit, the flying squirrel.
So you don't think the Earth is flat? You think it's round?
just to clarify, the Earth,
you made that
I do
pretty
not.
clear.
I do not think the Earth is flat.
Some closing thoughts. So I wore my volleyball shirt. So Thrive puts on a volleyball tournament on an annual basis. May 4th is our next one. So if you want to put a team together for some sand volleyball,
Be there, be square.
it goes to a good cause.
Oh, I don't think you can say that anymore.
Yours isn't faded enough. John's look like it's actually from like a.
Well, this was last year's shirt, so it should be in
So I'm
good
saying
shape.
John's
I
worn
know,
his so
I've
much.
worn mine a bunch.
His looks like a '90s shirt for real.
Where's it at? Sideliners?
It's at Sideliners.
Sideliners. It's
So
great
send
time.
me a message, send me a text.
Yeah.
Give you the info. It's good fun.
And we got a car show coming up.
We do have a car show May 18th
May 18th car show.
at the Thrive My Insurance Group parking lot.
Oh, it's in this parking
It's
lot?
in this
Yeah,
parking
that's
lot.
even better.
You coming?
That's legit.
You
I'm
can
gonna
bring a classic car.
Can I put my Prius in it? That'd be awesome.
We're gonna have to sell you a slip for that.
You ever seen the movie? The movie The Other Guys? He's like, does that thing come with a dental dam? Come on, put it to the floor. It is to the floor.
That's really how it is, though. You push those things, you're like, ugh. Like, I swear, when I get in my truck and I push the gas, it's like drastically different. Like, there's so much more power and speed.
Well, the squirrel gets tired in the Prius.
I don't know if I ever told you this, but I called Ryan one day and I was like, dude, are you over here? He's like, no. I was like, oh, shit. Because I was like laying on the horn at somebody in a Prius. And I thought it was him. It was a little old lady coming over 1604.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
I was like,
little
oh,
lady.
dude, she just got horn blasted.
I do get a lot of calls. More people call me about the Prius. Like, is this you in the Prius? Than my truck.
No.
Like, why is everybody calling about the Prius?
Is it the McPrius?
The
Prius.
Yeah, I actually do like. I think that's the takeaway for today. Big McD Realty.
Big McD.